Now all we got to do is sit here and wait for a couple people to show up. How are we all doing out there tonight? We had to move the date till a Thursday on the 30th here because of work schedule changes. Well, let's see what happens here. Now we are starting to get people to join in. We'll give it a minute for a couple other people to show up here, and we'll get started here soon. There's a couple more. There's one I really wanted to see. Here we go. How's everybody doing tonight? Eventually I'll figure out this camera angle. I tried everything to get it aimed a little differently so it doesn't look like I'm reading anything, which I am not. But I do have information here that I will be going over with you on healthcare. And we got a weak connection here, or what do we got? That ain't good. We might have to move this to a different room in the house. How you doing tonight, Shane? Okay, as you know, we have some major issues with our health insurance in the state of Michigan, all the way from medical back to mental health, auto insurance. We're going to touch on a little more than just health care tonight. We're going to also touch on some of our grossly outrageous prices for auto insurance as well, but the main gist of this tonight is set up for health insurance. So we need to make some massive changes there. I've talked to Blue Cross Blue Shield, I've talked to Humana, I've talked to Cigna. Now, Blue Cross is really my pet peeve for right now because of it being an actual non-profit, supposedly. But, you know, Daniel Lope, the CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield, you know, he enjoys a $6.6 million salary. Now, some people might say that, you know, that's not his actual salary, that's benefits and profit sharing. All right, I think we might take this into a different room, so you guys all might get to travel with me here for a second. The camera angle will change, but I think we need to move it because I'm not getting very good reception where we're at right now. So bear with me, and we're going to travel upstairs here. Alright, we're on the move. See if we can walk and talk at the same time. You know, we won't do that. I'm liable to be an old man and fall on my face. Alright, we'll readjust this. Hopefully it's not too dark. I'm still showing a weak signal. That's not good, but we'll keep trying to get through this. Alright, like I said, Daniel Lope, he's the CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield here in Michigan. And like I said, they're supposed to be a true nonprofit, which that is supposed to be changing here shortly, I hope. And I went to talk to them, and I confronted them with our needs here in Michigan, telling them that the insurance is way too high, and he didn't like that answer. But it wasn't Daniel Loeb. Let me clarify that. It was a little minion under him, but I'm sure he got the message. And I have quite a few of the insurance companies' salaries here. The insurance industry made $80 billion in 2014. The 2015 numbers, they're not real clear yet, so I haven't been able to find all those. But it's actually about 20% higher than the 80 billion mark. Now, this is all the insurance companies combined here in Michigan. I don't want you to think that I'm saying any insurance company for health insurance is making $80 billion. They're not. But they are making hefty profits, especially when you can see CEOs making a $6.6 million profit, or salary, I should say, not a profit. I mean, you got the president and CEO of Humana here. He made a little over $10 million as a salary, or I should say benefits. They got a whole long list here of president, CEO, executive vice president, CEO. They got a list here, and I don't see. The smallest one was $2 million, and that was the senior vice president, interim chief financial officer. You know, that just goes to show you that insurance companies are making money hand over fist on our backs here. You've got the Molina Group, which is another health insurance provider. Their chief executive officer for 2014, he made just under $8 million for his paycheck. Here's another big one for you, Cigna. In 2013, he made $17.76 million. In 2014, it went up 53%. So now in 2014, he made $27.16 million. It'd be nice to have a paycheck like that. Never knock a man for bettering themselves, or a woman, I should say. But, you know, we're paying more for health insurance now than we have any time, which is common sense in the last decades, and we're getting less. This has to change. I plan on changing this, and I will force their change. If they don't want to come to a compromise, as governor, we can force them to change. It's real simple. What you do is you just open up Medicaid, but we'll rename it Michigan Health, something similar to that. That's not set in stone right at the moment. I told them that I'd just open up Medicaid to the entire state, to the people, and I'm just going to round off some numbers. The average cost for health insurance for a family of four is between $1,000 and $1,200 a month. For just myself and my wife, for full health insurance, we pay $778, and that's just for two people. That's outrageous, and we're getting less benefits now than we did 5 years ago. But anyways, the average cost is between $1,000 and $1,200 a month. The two people I did talk to at Humana and at Blue Cross Blue Shield, I told them, I said, I'll open up Medicaid to the people of Michigan, and we'll charge them $500 a month for a family of four. That's just the base area. I mean, it would be cheaper for less and more for more people in the family. But we're not raping them like the health insurance industry is. You know, here's the thing that really gets me about it. You got Medicaid, which is by the state. You have Medicare, which is funded by the federal. And then you have the broad markets out there, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Humana, Cigna, and a bunch of other ones out there. If you're on Medicaid, your average cost for an MRI is just under $500. I believe it's like $478. If you're on Medicare, it's actually just under $800. But if you're on health insurance like Blue Cross Blue Shield, the bill is $5,000. Now that's where it's getting ridiculous. The reason it's being done like that is is because Medicaid, you have a large group of people, and the state can barter with them a little bit and adjust the prices. Well, they take advantage of the Blue Cross Blue Shield, Humana, and Cigna because the insurance companies don't barter as much as the state and the federal government does. So, but like I said, I would open it up. And here's the thing that would make it different. By me opening Medicaid up to the state of Michigan for all families to purchase, by us doing that and giving it to them for $500 a month, not only does that give them an affordable way of getting health insurance, sorry, I was reading one of the questions that came through here. But I'll continue what I was saying. By us opening up Medicaid, it gives them a form of affordable insurance. It also, the more people you get onto the program, it will also give us options to barter even more with the hospitals and get things under control. I don't mean fully regulating them. That would be a burden that I wouldn't even want to tackle. But it would give us some way of getting our costs down. Now, when I brought this up to the insurance companies, he says you couldn't survive if you cut it down to $500. And my answer to him was, what? You couldn't survive on $40 billion instead of $80 billion that was profited last year? And he just gave me this dumbfounded look. Well, if we were to do something like that, and we take the $40 billion that supposedly would be a profit, we would put it into our actual Medicaid part of the system for families that are on the welfare system. In other words, help reimburse the system for the people that need it, that can't afford to pay. Well, there's a couple of good things that this would do. Like I said, it would help cover the cost of some of the welfare recipients out there, as a lot of people call the entitlement programs. But it gives us a bargaining tool. That's the thing I'm talking about. But there's also another way that this would benefit us as a state. I believe Michigan is actually self-sustainable. Now, that might be something that a lot of people don't want to even think about, but, it's something that, it's one of these things, we got insurance that's it's mandated by our federal government and our state. But when you mandate something, it should be affordable. Well, they don't want to force the insurance companies to make things affordable. But I will, because I'm out here for the people. I mean, I have to watch what the businesses do. We don't want to push them out of the state. But at the same time, if we're going to have something mandated, we need to make it affordable. Now, one of the things I would like to do for those families that join the Michigan Health or the Medicaid system is I'd like to make the insurance cards, I want to make those so that you carry them with you as long as you live in the state of Michigan. In other words, if you get a job, like right now, if you were to get a job, you get health insurance through them if they provide it. And as long as you work there, you have the access to the insurance. Well, I'd like to make ours go from job to job. In other words, the account number will be on your card, like it is normal with all these other health insurance cards, but that account number would be accessed for your employment. So in other words, if you live in Michigan, say all your life, we'll just say for 30 years, and you have 5 or 6 different jobs. Hopefully you don't, but you have 5 or 6 different jobs. At least that insurance card will go with you. If your company is offering to pay a certain portion of your insurance, they can pay it directly to your account. If they pay 50%, $250, then you only pay $250 a month. So there, it cuts your cost as well. We used the base number of 500 because I wanted to cut it 50% from the average of 1,000. I could have said 600, but I like round numbers. It's easier for me to think about them and easy for me to express them to the people. Now, just to touch base like on our auto insurance, we have our auto insurance in Michigan is 136% above the national average. A lot of that is because we also have health insurance on our automobiles. I mean, we're paying twice. You're paying for your auto insurance, health part of that, and then you're paying your normal health insurance. I want to take Michigan back to a at-fault state. In other words, if you are in an accident, it's not your fault. The other person pays for your deductible on your insurance. Our insurance companies are also getting carried away. You know, they get to set the prices. We do not. Years ago, if you bought auto insurance or health insurance or even house insurance, a good example would be house insurance. If you bought house insurance, you could go. All right, I think we're back. I'm having issues with Wi-Fi tonight, evidently. All right, like I said, our homeowners insurance. You used to be able to walk into an insurance agency. You found out what they say your house is worth. You pay your property taxes. You figure out what your house is worth. You used to be able to go up there and say, okay, my house is worth $150,000. I want $175,000 on the cost of the house, and $40,000 for contents. Not anymore. You have no say in it, just about. If you fight with them too much, they won't even insure you. I mean, my house alone, I checked into it. It cost about $125,000 to rebuild my house. But the homeowners insurance, which is Citizens, tell me I have to have $360,000 on my home. Top it off, they want me to pay for $280,000 worth of contents. I don't have $280,000 worth of contents. I'd be lucky if I was like an average family that had 30 or 40,000. Some may have a little more than that. I guess if you have $1 million home, you might have $280,000 worth of toys and stuff in your house. I don't. I might have, like I said, $30 or $40,000 in contents, and that's in my entire home: clothes, riding mowers, TVs, cameras, cell phones, and laptops. But that's ridiculous. Try to claim that much from them, and then they want proof that you have all that, even though you carry the insurance that they're forcing you to buy. The main thing is we need to give the people of Michigan the opportunity to set their rates for their auto insurance. You have the state minimums, which, if I remember right, the state minimum for auto insurance is 20, 40, 10. In other words, that's personal liability and property damage, PLPD as it's called. You know, it's just gotten way out of hand. You're paying for health insurance. I've had people tell me, you know, if you get injured, crawl back to your vehicle. You know, your health insurance there will cover you. Now, it's just not right. So we need to eliminate the health insurance on our automobiles to get our health insurance system under control. We'll force the health insurance companies to deal with us properly, not reaching in and grabbing our wallet and running away with it. You know, they're stealing from you. They don't need to make $80 billion a year. I'm sure they can survive on $40 billion, but they don't seem to think so. But we'll let them know that that's the way it's going to go. Now, let's see, what was it here? Now, Daniel Lowe, I have this, like I said, Blue Cross Blue Shield is my pet peeve, for right now anyways. In 2013, the number I gave you was $6.6 million was his paycheck. That was 2013. 2014, he went up to 7.4 million. And I am reading that. I made sure I got the information off so that I had it accurately for you. You know, his base pay is only 1.5 million, but they have all these equity parts of their contracts that as long as Blue Cross Blue Shield is making money, his pay goes up. You know, it's not just profit sharing, but it's, to me, it's thievery, but, you know, they're compensated well above any other company that you'll find. I mean, General Motors, those big companies, they do it, but they're not the health care. You know, we need affordable health care, and I will fight for the right for affordable health care for the people of Michigan. You know, just like I stand behind other candidates out here in the state that I've talked to, as long as they're behind the people, I will stand behind them. I do not mind mentioning their names. I haven't had any of them yell at me for mentioning their names. We have a really good guy up in Port Huron District 83 up there. His name's Shane Hernandez. He believes in the people's rights, and that's why I support him as much as I do. We have one down here. Now, Shane is a Republican, but, and then there's one down here I support that's a Democrat. Dave Lillis for State District 46. He really strongly believes in the people's rights as well. I used to be a Republican, but no more. I'm really tired of the way the system's working, and both parties are broken. Shane and Dave, if you're on here, you might not want to hear that, but I'm telling you the truth, and everybody else for that matter. I'm running as an independent because I'm tired of the games. We need to find a way to get everything for the people the best that we can. And the best way I figure I can tackle health insurance is by forcing the hands of the health insurance companies. And of course, now when I do that, the people need to help with it as well. I mean, I'm hoping that people would say to me, well, what are you going to be charging for this new Michigan health insurance? Well, like I said, it'll be for a family of 4, the base price will be $500 a month. Your deductible will be $1,500, and your co-pays, we'll have all that broke down. I believe it's going to be a $30 copay, which a lot of us pay when you go to a doctor's visit anyways, and a $10 and $20 insurance prescription copay. I have to get some more numbers on that, but the main part of that number is the $500 a month, which at their own numbers, and I mean their own numbers by Blue Cross Blue Shield and Humana and Cigna and Molina, their own numbers come up to between $1,000 and $1,200 a month. So we cut it down to $500 again, which is the $40 billion. Now, they have, each of these insurance companies in the state of Michigan have 1 million members, at least. I believe Blue Cross Blue Shield, the last time I looked, was 2.74 million. But I think if we were to get half the insurance onto Michigan Health, I think it would be it'd be a tremendous help for the people out there. Because you sure ain't getting Obamacare. When it came out, now don't get me wrong, it wasn't bad when it came out, but it's already taken I believe it was a 13% hike, and whether you realize this or not, November 1st of 2016, this very year, it goes up 20% more. Now, that might not sound a lot, but when you really get down to it, it is. And now you have a lot of the smaller health insurance companies, they've actually dropped Obamacare. You have, I believe Cigna's one of them that decided not to deal with them anymore. One of the bigger ones, Aetna, I believe they've come off the platform for Obamacare as well because they can't make enough money, supposedly. Well, I'm here to tell you, again, if you believe like I do, I'm sorry, again, I was just reading one of the questions on here. All right, let me answer some of these questions here. We have Chris here let me scroll back down so I can read it. Yeah, you're right, Chris. There's a lot of time spent with Medicaid, taking their time, I should say, to get things approved for medical equipment for disabled people. We need to change that as well. It really is up to the people to decide on how they want to do all this. I mean, I see another question down here from Henry. Let me read this here. I think it is up to the people if they want it or not. No one else. You're right, Henry, but the whole thing is, that's what I'm giving as, when I'm elected governor, I will give this option to the people. It gives us the ability to cut down on health insurance cost. don't you believe that if it's mandatory that it should be affordable? I mean, I do. Some of us can't. Hell, there's people out here that can't even afford health insurance, and they'd rather pay the penalties at the end of the year on their taxes. Now, why should they be penalized for it? You know, I don't agree with that, but I do agree that it's a good thing to have health insurance, and by making it mandatory, they should make it affordable. So, you know, on that right there, I would turn around and say to you this. I don't know what you're paying for health insurance now, but wouldn't you like to have health insurance that's close to half of what you're paying? I would. I mean, under Michigan Health that we were talking about, and being able to carry that card from job to job, as long as you stayed in the state of Michigan with your work, I mean, it would cover you if you left the state. Don't take that the wrong way. But as long as you stayed there, it'd go with you wherever you work at in the state. But I would love to have my health insurance cut in half and still have great coverage. Michigan has some of the best hospitals in the United States. We've got U of M. Now, one of the things that I've had people argue with me about on this, if we cut the health care, they wouldn't have as much money for R&D. Well, that I do not believe. Oh, you pay $1,500, Henry? Well, wouldn't you rather? And that's for a family of 4, isn't it? I mean, if you're paying $1,500 now, or are you talking about the deductible? I'll give you a chance to answer. That way I know I'm answering your question correctly. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do, but the whole thing is we have to get the people behind us. So if we can't get the people behind us to do all these things, so that's your deductible, Henry, or is that for a family of 4? Family of 4, I do believe. Eventually his answers will catch up and I'll answer for him. But we really need to get these changed. And the only way to do it is to send them out. Oh, trust me, I'm not ignoring you, Miss Jessica. I'm actually scrolling down to find your question before I lost service there, or connection. Let's go back and find what Jessica's question was. All right, Henry, you're paying $1,500 for a family of 4. I just got your answer. You know, wouldn't you rather pay $500 a month instead of $1,500 and still have quality coverage and have a deductible of $1,500 instead of what you're probably paying is $25 or even higher? All right, now to Jessica. No, Jessica, we would never would we divert resources from individuals with mental health. I personally believe mental health needs to be tackled in a different way. Now, I am eventually going to be taking a mental health class, so I know more about what is going on with mental health services. I tried to get into one in June, but it got canceled due to some other circumstances, but I am still waiting to get on the list to get back in there. But no, we don't want to lose. I would actually like to better the service for mental health, because mental health seems to be touching other things in our society that we need to deal with. I mean, you have drug issues, you have personality disorders out there, and I mean, you got people who are getting depressed. These are all forms of mental health. And we need to find a way to get that taken care of. No, I don't want to divert any services away from anyone that have developmental issues or disabilities, I should say. And I see you have more of a question here that I'm not being able to scroll down to. It won't even let me open them. But nursing, we need to bring up the pay for our nurses without raising the cost of health insurance. And I think that is more of a area-wide thing. You got some nurses that are paid more in the bigger cities, of course, and then you do out in the rural areas. But I think we could come up with some way of making it a little more fair. Like I said, in my previous live feed, I was talking about lowering our taxes and eliminating some. I'll get into that more heavily in one of the other videos, or live feeds, I should say. But there's a lot of issues we need to take care of. All right, who's doing this message? Well, Henry, again, I agree with you that it's not really that fair to have forced insurance on us. But think of it this way. It has brought a lot of people health insurance that before wouldn't have gotten it. It brings some of the younger people. Now, you young people might not like this. It brings you into the system. You may not use it and you're still paying, but that's the way health insurance has been for a long time. We like to, the whole thing is, wow, that's a real issue there. And I don't have all the answers. Don't anybody think that I have all the answers, but I am trying to find them. If I don't have the answers, I will go out and hunt them down or talk to people that I need to. But we have, holy cow, Henry, wow, 2 people. I'm don't mind me, people. I'm scrolling through some of these to find answers or questions. By a long shot, I'm not a real politician, and I never will be. I'd like to do this, get the job done for the people, and get the heck out of here. But the whole thing is, I will fight for the people. I'm not afraid to stand up to anybody. And what we have for choices for president, you're going to need somebody that's willing to stand up to one of them. And I will. Like I said, I'm not afraid to stand up to anybody. I agree. That's what I started to talk about earlier, Jessica. Everyone should have health care. You never know when something's going to happen. And if you keep the cost low enough, like, all right, you force everybody to have insurance. It's mandatory. Either that or you get penalties. I know I'm bouncing around, but I'm trying to answer questions here at the same time. All right, you get an 18-year-old. He just gets into the workforce. He's going to pay roughly $100 a month for health insurance. Nothing may happen for 5 years. Then he goes out there, gets in a car accident, a minor one, we'll say, and he breaks a leg, an arm, has minor cuts and contusions. His hospital bill without insurance would probably be about $30,000, $40,000. I'm not a doctor. I don't run a doctor's office, so I'm assuming. Like I did today. I was out messing around with my riding mower in the garage. I cut a deep gash into my leg, ended up with stitches. That cost me $1,500 right there for 5 minutes in a doctor's office. I'm just assuming that somebody goes in and gets in a car accident. Now, their health insurance would tell them you'd have to get it from your auto insurance, so maybe I shouldn't have used that example. But either way, you fall off your roof, okay? You break your arm and your leg. You go to the hospital, it's $30,000, $40,000. I think I'd rather have my health insurance at that time than I would not. So that's the example why I believe everyone should have health care. But again, being that it's mandated or mandatory, it should be affordable. This stuff that we have now, the health care insurances, they keep jacking up the rates. I don't think we've gotten away from maybe twice a year it's gone up. Well, when Obamacare first came out, they had all kinds of tax write-offs and breaks. They were paying so much of your insurance for you. You shouldn't have to have that. We should be able to pay our own health insurance if it's affordable. And it will be affordable in the state of Michigan. I promise you that. Auto insurance is, like I said, I guarantee you that will be made more affordable in Michigan under my administration. All these insurance companies or insurances that we have to have, I promise you, will be made affordable under my administration. And that's where I'll be needing you, the people, to help me do it. Because I'm sure there's going to be some senators, some state reps, no offense to any of you running for office, but with the people's help, we'll get this done. I'm not like any of our other politicians that want to tell you what you want to hear and then turn around and go behind your back because of lobbyists. I'm not taking no money from any companies out here. The money I get in on my campaign is from you, the people. So, with that being mentioned, go to my website, make a donation, set it up for reoccurring, $3 a month. That's all I ever ask, just $3 a month. If you want to donate more than $3 a month, God bless you, I'd take that too. But I take it on as reoccurring because that gives me a budget for every month to put out more flyers, handle more equipment for hiring more people to get out there and canvass the areas. Okay, let me look at another question here we got. Henry, save that question and remind me again here, because at the end of the show or the live feed, I wanted to ask people what subjects they'd like me to have for the next one. That one there you have a couple of different ones. You having issues with co-pays, Janine, on your out-of-pocket costs for some of the meds for your husband? Well, like I was saying earlier, I don't know how long you've been on here. If we get the people to join in on Michigan Health, then the more people we get signed up for it, the more we can barter with the system. In other words, the hospitals, we can cut costs for the people who are on the Michigan Health. We can cut prescription costs. Some of these prescriptions are getting carried away, and a lot of them are like cancer medicines. When they first come out on the market, they were like $750 a pill, which is outrageous. But they stayed that way for years, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, now somebody wants to charge $7,500 for one pill. That's foolhardy, and it's greedy. But the only way we get these things done is when we have a voice behind us. The voice behind us is you, the people of Michigan. I was supposed to go on Periscope tonight, but I had an issue with the camera for that one, so we're just on live. Sorry about that. But these are issues that we need to look into. And I'm going to give you an honest answer. Sometimes you might not like my answers, but at least they're honest. You know, I'm not going to go behind your back and have something done without the people of Michigan knowing. And we are putting together a group of, again, I'm sorry, I got a bad connection tonight. Week and a half ago, I had a great connection. Must be something going on with my Wi-Fi system here. I'll have to try to see if I can get that taken care of for the next live feed. But we are trying to get together volunteers to go canvass certain areas, get our message out about health insurance reform, school reforms, tax reforms. We're looking, after this national election, it's going to go crazy, so that's when I'll be looking for your help. But again, you know, I realize I'm bouncing all around, but at the same time, I'm trying to read some of these questions so that I can try to answer these questions. I have to scroll up and down through them a couple of different times. But this is what I'm getting at. This is how we communicate with each other and get our message across. You're not feeling ignored anymore, are you, Jessica? So, but I am glad to see I'm getting more and more people on here. lets me know that people want to hear what I have to say. Like I said, you may not agree with everything I say, but at least I'm giving you an honest answer. And I honestly believe with all these insurance CEOs making the kind of money they are, I hate to say it, but I don't think they should be making that kind of money off the backs of the people. We are, like I said, mandated to have this health insurance, and they're making money hand over fist. And that part I don't feel is fair. So, I mean, if you want to get into some really good health or really good insurance, I look forward to having more talks with you, Jessica, on mental health. I really do, because that way I'm more informed and I don't feel like I'm just touching on it for you. But no, I wouldn't cut sources or resources for mental health. That's one of our issues that we need to step up and take care of. I mean, it's touching all forms of life in our state, and we need to deal with that. We can't let it go under the table, or however you want to say it. But I try to get as many of this. You know, it sounded better when I went through this with in my head here earlier today than what it does now. But like you, I'm just an average Joe, and I'm trying to do what I can to help the state. I don't feel like I'm going to run away with anything. Well, like I said, I want to make sure that together, working with the people of Michigan, working with the Senate, working with the State House, that we get what needs to be done for the people of Michigan. Evidently, they're being told what to do more so by the lobbyists than they are doing what they should be doing. That won't happen under my administration. I mean, I have a saying, it's say no to the status quo. It's already been screwed up. Our two-party system is broken. And I'll be a broken record saying that, but it's true. The system is broken and we need to fix it. The only way to fix it is to get people in there like all of you and myself, people who are normal people, not politicians, and I hate to say it, but not lawyers either. Lawyers like to bend the rules. They take a law and bend it around how they want it to come out, and that's wrong too. Trust me, they don't like me already. Lansing doesn't like me already because I'm willing to change a lot of things. But now let's see, what else can we talk about today? I have, and by the way, I am getting my policy papers together still. It's a lot harder than I thought it was. I keep adding more information into it, and I got to try to keep them short so people are interested in reading them. So, I did answer your question, Jessica. Henry, did I answer your questions for you? And earlier, Janine, I will promise you this, we will find a way to get the out-of-pocket costs lowered for meds here in Michigan. Even if we have to go outside and start purchasing meds for the state in Canada. I won't say Mexico because they're stealing enough from us. I don't know if for a fact we could really do that, but I sure to hell would try. You know, wherever we can get these medicines cheaper for family, I'd be the first one to look for you and try to get them. We need to start making things easier and more affordable for families all around. The cost of living's gone up so much, health insurance has gone up, but our wages haven't. So we have to compensate somewhere. And again, that's another subject, but I don't mind talking about it. If we want to talk about other subjects, I'm on here till 9 p.m., which is another 45 minutes. But please, do not forget to go to the website, which is SchleigerforGovernor2018.com. You can read more about what I'm about, what my stands are, but there's also that important donate button there. I need your help. I need you to go on there and donate $3 a month. I try to keep it low, but if I get enough people on there, that $3 a month really stretches out. We need to get, we use it for setting up speaking arrangements. We're working on getting teachers involved to set up a dinner for them so that we can get their input into our school reform. We've got July 10th. We have a dinner set up for road repairs so that I can talk and get actual numbers from these road building companies. Now, we've been turned down by some of the county road commissions because they feel that they don't want to be tied to a candidate. But that's okay. We give them that. It is America. We do have the freedom of our voice. You know, they have the freedom of choice. But I can't push that hard enough with the donations. If you can't donate, at least volunteer your time. We are coming to counties and asking for your help. So if you can't afford $3 a month, invest your time. We gladly would take your help. We're going out Tuesdays and Thursdays and canvassing certain areas. I'm taking interviews for volunteers right now in Genesee County. We're going to be targeting Saginaw County here pretty soon. So, you know, if you're interested, go onto the website. There's a contact page. Let me know. Give me your contact information, phone number. If you have a resume, send a resume. We will get back to you. If I don't, John will, but I am always involved in these interviews. So you'll get to see me whether you like me or not. Hopefully you like me, but again, we are fighting to find ways to lower the cost of our health care and our auto insurance, our homeowners. You know, by cutting health insurance, auto insurance costs, I wouldn't see them going up, but you should be able to regulate what you want for coverage on your home, not them forcing that onto you. It's not mandatory. Well, it is with your mortgage, but they're setting the rates. We're not. It's our property, so we should be able to set our own rates. That goes with our cars, but you know, we have to work things out, and we will. I am open to suggestions. I'm open to opinions. If you want to sit there and really chew on me, I'll sit here and listen to it. I'm not talking about just on the video here, but you know, my phone number is public. You want my phone number, you go on my Facebook. It's right there. I don't hide nothing. You want to dig into my past, you're welcome to it. I'm not afraid to deal with anything that's on there. But I do believe we need somebody strong with the ability to take on both parties, all our senators, all our state reps. All right, we got another question here. What do I consider to be the biggest hurdle in reducing health care cost? The insurance companies. They're the ones that keep raising the cost. I realize medical expenses are going up, but here's the thing. I used this example before. I don't know if you were on here, Jessica. I'll use the example for an MRI again. Medicaid pays just under $500 for an MRI. Medicare, which is federal, pays just under $800 for an MRI. Blue Cross Blue Shield, Humana, they all pay $5,000 for an MRI. Where do you think this cost can be cut for reducing healthcare costs? This is just one area. I mean, you do realize, you go into a hospital, you pay $5 for that little plastic cup that they put your pill in that they want you to swallow. That ain't counting the cost of the pills that are in there, because everybody knows you're paying $8 to $10 for an aspirin that you can go down to the store down here and pay 15 or 5 cents for if you buy a bottle of 500. Yeah. This is where these hurdles are. These hurdles are trying to reduce the cost. The only way we're going to reduce that cost is by if we get enough people to join on this Michigan Health that I'm proposing. You know, it gives us the room to barter with these hospitals, get the cost down, and find out what the actual real cost is. You've got people, the CEOs of these hospitals, that are making multi-million-dollar salaries. That's where the health cost is rising. It's all in administration. It's not in the cost completely of the care. It's mainly in the administration. You got people who are up there and they're pointing fingers, you do this, you do that, and the boards, well, you've done such a great job. You made us $4.4 billion. Well, here's $3 million. There's your bonus. That's wrong. You're making money off the backs of the people that you're helping. It's a good thing that we have the great health care that we have, but the cost is getting carried away. There's no reason for these hospitals, and the reason I say there's no reason for these CEOs at these hospitals and insurance companies to be making as much money as they are, because again, it is mandatory for us to have health insurance. And I can't stress that enough. If it's mandatory, it should be affordable. If it's not affordable, it's a drain on our system. It's a drain on our wallets. When you start taking too much out of our wallets, you're hurting the families. We need to stop hurting the families. I mean, our sense of community has gone so far out of whack, it's not even funny anymore. You used to walk out on the street as a kid. You did something wrong, that neighbor jumped all over your butt. Then when you got home, your mother and father jumped on your butt. Not no more. Everybody closes the door and doesn't want to see it. Well, I know I went off on a rant. I apologize. But this is what I'm talking about. If it's mandatory, it needs to be affordable. Like I said, you'll hear me harp on this all the time. These are things that they're making us have to have, but yet they don't want to fight for the people to make it to make it affordable. They call it affordable health care. It's not affordable. And again, November 1st, Obamacare takes a 20% hike. It's going up. The insurance companies are doing this again. You know, they feel they need to make more money. But yet, you're paying more, but you're getting less. Enough is enough. This has to stop. This needs to be dealt with. And the people we have in office now and in this administration are not going to do it. They're bought and paid for by the lobbyists. And when I mean the lobbyists, I'm talking about health insurance companies, auto insurance companies. Any company out there that wants to buy a politician, they just about can, if that politician is not going to tell them no. That's why I stay away from taking money from these companies. I've turned down 2 companies. I won't give their name because the guy still made a donation without it when I told him I couldn't take it for the reason he wanted to give it to me. I will not be bought and paid for. The people who are going to own me are you, the people of Michigan, not the corporations. I'm going to be fighting for the people of Michigan on all aspects. You may not see me in Lansing, but you will see me traveling around the state of Michigan. I believe in what the people have to say. And if I'm not out there talking to you, I can't answer those questions, can I? Well, so any other questions anybody else wants to ask me out there in the last 5 minutes before I turn off here? Because I'm going to stay on for the full hour. I got to annoy you as much as I possibly can. Well, Jessica, all right, now we may be on here more than 5 minutes. The additional cost of health for the people of Flint is going to be covered by us, the taxpayer. No matter how you look at it, the screw up from Governor Schneider's administration, it's going to affect us for decades, even well after I'm out of my term. I only plan to be in there 4 years. After I'm gone, we're still going to be paying for the health needs of the people in Flint. This is something that's going to affect us for decades. I mean, some of those kids are 2, 3 years old or even infants. They're going to have more than likely have health issues. And here's the thing. Even if they don't have health issues, we won't know that. They'll claim everything was because of the lead. So either way, we're going to be raising a whole generation of children from Flint on our tax-paying dollars because this is what this administration done. You've got Bill Schuette going in there, and I know he's the Attorney General. Did you realize he spent $4.9 million so far? Oh, you'll see it out there again, Janine. Thank you for coming by. But Bill Schuette spent $4.9 million so far on investigating Flint. Okay, now us taxpayers are paying Governor Schneider's legal fees. Why are we responsible for it? Most people who get in trouble pay for their own attorneys. Hell, Bill Clinton paid for his own attorneys for the blowjob. Come on. You know, we're paying $1.2 million so far for Governor Schneider's attorneys. This is wrong. He should be paying his own. But yet taxpayers are paying his attorney fees. We're paying Bill Schuette the $4.9 million for this case to be investigated, which we already know that the administration is guilty of misconduct of office only. We cannot get him on any criminal charges because he is not there personally involved. Okay, now, like I said, we're going to be paying billions of dollars over the next decades for the health needs of the people in Flint because of his misconduct of office. You know, and I started to tell you, Bill Schuette is going to make a run for governor. He's going to be running up against me. I don't care about Bill Schuette. To me, he's a worthless person. He's just as at fault as Governor Schneider. But he's playing the white knight in Flint. Well, yes, Chris, I would. As governor, I will find a way to make Schneider reimburse the state for the money that we are paying for his defense attorneys, because he should be held responsible for his own attorneys. You can bet I'll be looking into a way to find out. I will find a way for Schneider to repay the state for those attorney fees. But then now we have Brian Calley. Now, not too many people know who Brian Calley is. He's the lieutenant governor. Now, he's probably going to make a run for governor as well. That whole administration, the whole administration is at fault for our Flint water crisis, in my eyes. Any one of them could have stopped at any point. Oh, you can come through. I had to move upstairs. I was getting bad service. Okay. But we have 2 more minutes and then I'll be off here and let you all enjoy your evening. But, you know, these are the people I'm not worried about. These are people that screwed up our system, Flint's system. You know, we need to redo our infrastructure. All right, I'm back again. It keeps... like I said, I got bad connection here somehow. But I'm going to wrap this up tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the conversation. I hope you liked some of the health insurance reforms that we're talking about. And again, it's still being in process. We are putting out policy papers, but they keep being added to, so eventually they'll be out there. I am putting together a contract between me and the people of the state of Michigan that I will be held legally bound to, and I expect to be held accountable by you, the people, if I make mistakes. But we will hold all these administrations accountable for their actions. They're done messing with the people of Michigan. That's all I have for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you on here again. We will be having another live feed. Send me your ideas if you think there's something we need to research and put out there to talk about if you want. I'm open for anything that you want to talk about, but we are going to get this taken care of. We will get health insurance reform here in the state of Michigan. But other than that, you all enjoy your evening and God bless. Thank you.